Hey guys.
I gotta get my body moving, shake the stress away. I wasn't looking for nobody when you look my way. Possible candidate, yeah. Who knew that you'd be up in here looking like you do? You making staying over here impossible. Baby, I'ma say your aura is incredible. If you don't have to go, don't. Do you know what you started? I just came here to party, but now we're rocking on the dance floor, acting naughty. Your hands around my waist, just let the music play. We're hand in hand, just to trust, and now we're face to face. I wanna take you away, let's escape into the music. DJ, let it play. I just can't refuse it, like the way you do. Just keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music. I wanna take you away, let's escape into the music. DJ, let it play. I just can't refuse it, like the way you do this. Keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music. Baby, are you ready? 'Cause it's getting close. Don't you feel the passion ready to explode? What goes on between us, no one has to know. This is a private show. Do you know what you started? I just came here to party, but now we're rocking on the dance floor, acting naughty. Your hands around my waist, just let the music play. We're hand in hand, just to trust, and now we're face to face. I wanna take you away, let's escape into the music. DJ, let it play. I just can't refuse it, like the way you do. Just keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music. I wanna take you away, let's escape into the music. DJ, let it play. I just can't refuse it, like the way you do this. Keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music. Mama say, 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 please don't stop the music. Mama say, 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 please don't stop the music. Please don't stop the music. I wanna take you away, let's escape into the music. DJ, let it play. I just can't refuse it, like the way you do. Just keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music. I wanna take you away, let's escape into the music. DJ, let it play. I just can't refuse it, like the way you do this. Keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music. Mama say, 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 please don't stop the music. Mama say, 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 please don't stop the music. Mama say, 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 please don't stop the music. Music.
mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who would dance on the floor and around. She said I am the one who would dance on the floor and around. She told me her name was Billie Jean as she caused a scene. Then heavy hair turned with the eyes to dream of being the one who would dance on the floor and around. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love. Be careful what you do. Cause the lie becomes the truth. The Billie Jean's not my love. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She says I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No. For 40 days and for 40 nights I was on her side. But who can stand when she's in demand? Her scenes and plans. Go and dance on the floor and around. So take my strong advice. Just remember to always think twice. Don't think twice. She told my baby we danced to 3. And she looked at me, then showed a photo. Baby cried, his eyes were like mine. Go and dance on the floor in the round, baby. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. But she came and stood right by me. Just a smell of sweet perfume. I guess it happened pretty soon. She called me to her room. The Billie Jean's not my love. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. The Billie Jean's not my love. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No. She says I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. Baby, kid is not my son. She knows that the kid is not my son. She says I am the one. You know what you did. She says he's breaking my heart, babe. She says I am the Billie Jean's not my love. 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 Billie Jean's not my love. I'm about to sing the Billie Jean's.
We got it together, didn't we? We've definitely got our thing together, don't we, baby? Isn't that nice? I mean, really, when you really sit and think about it, isn't it really, really nice? I can easily feel myself slipping more and more waves. That super world of my own. Nobody but you and me. We've got it together, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, all my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky. Misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, I hear her voice in the morning hour. She calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home.
Hello, West Virginia. Hello. What a great song. How good is that song? I am thrilled to be back in this incredible state with thousands of hardworking American patriots. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The people of West Virginia love our country. They honor our history, and they always respect our great American flag. And this is a truly amazing time for our nation. Our economy is booming like never before. Remember I told you. And by the way, your state is booming like never before. Poverty is plummeting. Our stock market is soaring. It's reached its all-time high, by the way, in history, which I view as jobs, jobs, jobs. All-time high. And our great coal miners are back to work. They're back to work. A lot of people said that wasn't going to happen. You're back to work. Not only back to work, they're opening up mines all over the place. We're opening up steel mills. And the steel mills need metallurgic coal, and those coal miners are working, and the steel workers are working, and our whole country is working. We're taking care of our veterans, and our military will soon be more powerful than ever before. America is winning again. And America is respected again. I just left the United Nations. Believe me, they respect us now again. They all respect us. And what are we doing? We're putting America first, finally. But a lot of what we've done, some people could say all of what we've done, is at stake in November. Always fragile. We are just 5 weeks away from one of the most important congressional elections in our lifetimes. This is one of the big, in other words, that's true. I'm not running, but I'm really running. That's why I'm all over the place fighting for great candidates. I'm fighting for great candidates. You see what's going on. You see this horrible, horrible, radical group of Democrats. You see it happening right now. And they're determined to take back power by using any means necessary. You see the meanness, the nastiness. They don't care who they hurt, who they have to run over in order to get power and control. That's what they want, is power and control. We're not going to give it to them. We're going to keep it running the way it's been running. While Republicans are fighting every day for job, safety, opportunity, lack of crime. With them, it's crime, open borders. They've been on a mission to resist and obstruct and destroy, and you see that over the last 4 days. You see it. It's up to each of you with your precious vote. It is that. You know, in 2016, we have the same thing happening, the same thing. People are going to be very, very surprised. When you win the presidency, in theory, you're not supposed to do great in the midterm. But nobody's ever had a presidency like this because I won the presidency. Thank you. So I won the presidency, which is really we won the presidency. And we have the greatest economy that this nation has ever seen. Jobs and everything else. So we won, and we have so many things happening that are so good. So we should do well in the midterms. I can't imagine not, but you have to get it. Don't be complacent. The one thing that could happen, and the beautiful thing that's going on over the last few days in the Senate, when you see the anger, when you see people that are angry and mean and nasty and untruthful, when you look at releases and leaks and then they say, oh, I didn't do it, I didn't do it. Remember? Dianne Feinstein, did you leak? Remember her answer. Did you leak the document? What? No, no, I didn't leak. Well, wait 1 minute. Did we leak? No, no, we didn't leak it. I'll tell you what, that was really bad body language. Who knows? Maybe she didn't, but that was the worst body language I've ever seen. The entire nation has witnessed the shameless conduct of the Democrat Party. They're willing to throw away every standard of decency, justice, fairness, and due process to get their way. They don't care how they get it. You see it happening before your eyes. I think it's actually an incredible thing that's happening. And I just hope you don't sit home, because bad things will happen if you sit home. So now, the story will be, one wacko, the story will be tomorrow, a major protest greets Donald Trump in the great state of West Virginia. One person. He or she, I couldn't tell from the back. Let's say it was she, was very easy to get out, right? But this week, America also saw something else. On Thursday, the American people saw the brilliant and really incredible character, quality, and courage of our nominee for the United States Supreme Court, Judge Brett Kavanaugh. A vote to confirm Judge Kavanaugh is a vote to confirm one of the most accomplished legal minds of our time, a jurist with a sterling record of public service. You know, for 10 years, he's a young guy, but for 10 years they've been talking about him. Longer than that. I didn't know him, but I've heard about him a lot, because they were all saying he should be on the United States Supreme Court. That's why I put him up. And I will tell you, he has suffered the meanness, the anger. Now, West Virginia, they did a poll, just came out. Overall, total support for Judge Kavanaugh, 58%. Total opposed, 28%. So, it's 58%, 28% opposed. That's pretty good, right? I think that's good. That's West Virginia. Republican, 81% versus 8%, but that we expect. Wow. Women, 52% to 35%. That's not bad. Men, West Virginia, 65% to 21%. That's good, right? What? Hey, it's a poll. But we love those polls, don't we? I love polls, only when they're good. When they're not good, I don't talk about it. But they do a lot of, see, there's the fake news media. They do a lot of phony polls. They do a lot of phony polls. They do a lot of polls. They call them suppression polls. They make them bad, although our polls now are good. They're good because we're doing a lot of good work. But they make them bad, so you go to a movie instead of voting. You say, well, you know, Alice, let's go to a movie. Then we'll come home and watch the returns. Well, I'll tell you what. In 2016, nobody went to a movie. Nobody. I think the movie theaters were very empty that night, don't you think? So, some great things are happening. But a vote for Judge Kavanaugh is also a vote to reject the ruthless and outrageous tactics of the Democrat Party. Mean obstructionists, mean resistors. For the last 18 months, Democrats have spent every minute trying to overturn the results of the last election. We had one of the great, every day it's like a job. It's like part of your job description. Get up and fight them. Get up and fight them. They try and shut down our government. They're holding up 360 men and women who want to work for the government. They're not approving them. And they're highly qualified, and they're not even called nominees. They're not even controversial. These are people, you know the word slow walking? They're slow walking. So you have people trying to get in. They've left their jobs. And Schumer and all of the groups that you read about are not allowing these people to come into government. And I'm not even talking about people with a certain view. I'm talking about people that are non-controversial, including judges. They just go maximum 30 days, 30 days. If somebody's going to be approved, has to be approved, they take them. We're up to 360 people, and it's been that way the longest in the history of our country. Think of it, by far. And the most people in the history. We have the longest and the most people. Honestly, the Democrats are a disgrace. They are. They're a disgrace. And the number one enabler of the Democrats is the fake news media right back there. I'll tell you. And they really do. They stoke the fires of resentment and chaos. They report incorrect news. They report phony news. And, you know, when I say and come out with very, very strong statements about media, I'm talking about the fake news media. They are truly an enemy of the people. The fake news, enemy of the people. They really are. They are so bad. You don't even get it. You'd think they'd like low taxes. You'd think they'd like a strong military, no crime, strong borders. They don't. They don't. This November 6th, you have a chance to reject these disgraceful political hacks. But you can only do it. You got to vote Republican. I mean, we have good people. I want to get along with them, but it's impossible in many ways. It's just really tough because they're so far left. They have been taken so far left, where Pocahontas is now considered a conservative in the Democrat Party. She's like a conservative person. Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren, she's considered like a conservative person. These people, they've gone crazy. They've gone loco. We're joined today by many terrific Republican leaders, including a friend of mine, and I have to tell you, Big Jim. He is the biggest human being I think I've ever seen. Big Jim Justice. Do we like him? He's our great governor. Highest, listen, this is West Virginia. Highest ever first quarter surplus, history of West Virginia, $120.5 billion above estimate. Revenue growth by month, July up 24.1, 14.9, 16.5. Total revenue growth for West Virginia up 18%. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you.
I'll be short and sweet. Nobody could love this man more than I, except you, maybe. What he's done for West Virginia is off the chart. Now, we've got to step up to the plate. We've got to step up. We've got to deliver him Patrick Morrissey. We've got to deliver him. We have to deliver him an absolute solid Republican Congress. Come on now, get behind him. God bless all of you.
Big Jim. That's a big man. And he's doing a great job. He really is. He's doing a great job. But look at these numbers. Hey, Jim, for July, up 24.1% revenue growth. Man. Think of that. I'll tell you, look, you people, you know, you were great to me. We won this state by 42 points. You know what 42 points is? And that's, in all fairness, it's not like an independent, that's against a Democrat. We won by 42 points. You took me in. You took me in. But I produced. I produced. I produced. These are great people. And they love not only the beautiful, clean coal, they love lots of other things that we're doing well. West Virginia's back. A lot faster than even I thought it could happen. You know it. I get hugged backstage by miners. These guys are massive guys that grab me. I say, how would you like to make computer widgets? Nope, we want to dig coal, right? They have no interest in little delicate computer parts. So we also have with us the Secretary of State, Mac Warner. Thanks, Mac. Great job. A man who I hope you can support because he's been terrific, really did a great job as a congressman, and he's going to the Supreme Court. He's going to be a justice. Evan Jenkins. Thank you, Evan. You've got to go out and vote for him. A woman that everybody respects. She is running against a total wacko. No, I've seen this person. You can't have that person in Congress. That person is stone cold crazy. A person that you know very well and everybody in West Virginia loves, Carol Miller. Carol. Pennsylvania, thanks. Good luck, Carol. I think you're in great shape from what I hear. I hope so. Pennsylvania State Senator Guy Reschenthaler. Guy. Thank you. Thanks, Guy. We're also thrilled to be joined by Ohio Congressman, a friend of mine from day one. He supported Trump when it wasn't as fashionable. Right at the beginning, he didn't go through 9 candidates and then say, oh man, finally I'm going to support this guy. We had a couple of them. They never tell me that now. They said, I supported you from the beginning. This guy really did. Bill Johnson. Right across the water. And Congressman David McKinley. Great job, David. We like David, right? I like David. Thank you, fellas. Also joining us is Brooke County, West Virginia native, a good friend of mine and somebody who truly knows about winning. This guy's a real winner, Coach Lou Holtz. Coach, great guy. He's a great coach, but he's a great guy, too. Finally, I'm honored to introduce the person we are all here to support, the next senator from the great state of West Virginia, somebody that's going to give us a vote for what we want every single time. There won't be any question about it. Patrick Morrissey. Patrick, please come up. Patrick.
Well, thank you, President Donald Trump. Thank you, Governor Justice. Thanks to this amazing crowd for this very warm welcome. Now, I'll tell you, this guy really is making America great again, and we know he's also making West Virginia great again. Now, for far too long, Barack Obama, no? Hillary Clinton, and Washington liberal Joe Manchin all of these individuals and the coastal elites, they abandoned our West Virginia values. They practiced political correctness. They advanced liberal policies. They didn't put America first. Yeah. But fortunately for all of us, there was one candidate, one man willing to fight back against political correctness and put America first, Donald J. Trump. This election, West Virginia has a very big decision to make. You could go back to the values of those who abandoned West Virginia, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, or Joe Manchin. Or you can stand with someone who puts you first, America first, and West Virginia first. The stakes in this election couldn't be higher. And the differences between myself and my opponent, dishonest Washington liberal Joe Manchin, they couldn't be sharper. Guys, you have a choice. If you vote for Patrick Morrisey, you'll be electing a conservative fighter with a record of results who will advance the Trump jobs agenda. A vote for dishonest Washington liberal Joe Manchin? Well, all right, hang on. You're going to be empowering that same group of radical liberal obstructionists, the one you saw in the Senate circus this past week. Now, dishonest Washington liberal Joe Manchin, Joe's got to go, amen, brother. Up. Now, dishonest Washington liberal Joe Manchin has a history of abandoning West Virginia. He abandoned your gun rights, supporting Obama's radical gun control. He abandoned your values on life, backing Planned Parenthood. He abandoned your paychecks when he said no to the Trump tax cuts. He abandons you when he supports amnesty and when he opposed Trump's border wall. But we're going to build that wall. We're going to build that wall. But it gets worse. Joe Manchin supported Hillary Clinton even after she made clear she wanted to take away our coal, our oil, and our gas jobs. Shame on Joe Manchin. And that's why liberal Joe's got to go. Yep. Now, when I'm in the Senate, we're going to have a different approach. we're going to put West Virginia first. We're going to fight against all those unlawful and illegal regulations that hold back job creators, like the one I defeated as your Attorney General and the ones that President Trump is withdrawing. We're going to ignite the economy even more. We'll supercharge West Virginia when we make the Trump tax cuts permanent. And we're going to re-empower the people of the state of West Virginia with term limits to hold Washington politicians accountable. We'll stop the funding of Planned Parenthood, and we'll take, we will. And we're going to take back our West Virginia values and end the gun grabs by the liberals in Washington. And, not insignificantly, we'll all stand for the national anthem. Pretty good. But I need your help. We're getting a lot of support from President Trump. In fact, because of his last trip, we're basically even in the polls. But we have a lot more work to do against the wily ways of these Washington politicians. I need you to get involved. I need you to volunteer. I need you to go online at patrickmorrissey.com and donate and help me close the gap against the liberal ATM machine of Chuck Schumer and Joe Manchin. Look, this race will likely decide the balance of power in the Senate. And, amen, brother. But remember, those radicals in Washington, Schumer, Pelosi, Maxine Waters, and Joe Manchin, ooh, yes, they don't want to see our president succeed. They want to obstruct, just like they did this week against Judge Kavanaugh. Ladies and gentlemen, we must confirm Judge Kavanaugh. It's time to join our team today because Joe's got to go. He's got to go. And it's my honor to stand with President Trump to fight for you. We, unlike Joe Manchin, Hillary Clinton, and the radical liberals, will never abandon our American and our West Virginia values. And the one thing you'll know is that together, this team, we're going to continue making America great again, and we'll make West Virginia great again. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you. Wow. Good job, Patrick. Thank you, Patrick. Remember this, a vote for Patrick Morrissey is a vote to stand up for West Virginia values, right? A vote for Morrissey is a vote for me and for our agenda to make America great again, or as we will soon start saying, keep America great, right? Keep it great. Keep America great. That'll be our new theme very soon. I don't want to switch yet, a little too soon. We're not even into 2 years, right? Make America great again. I can't use it in 2020. We can't, because by that time, if we go even like half of what we've done, So we're going to have the new will be Keep America Great. This is a very important election. It will decide which party controls the United States Senate. A Democrat-controlled Senate will try to take away your Second Amendment. They're going to take it away. They want to take over American health care and destroy it. They want to make us Venezuela. That's what they want to do. You'll have Venezuela, big version. Erase America's borders. You know, we fight for borders, but hey, by the way, I see the signs, finish the wall. That's a good, finish the wall. We are in the process. Just got another $1.6 billion. I want to get more, but it's coming. It's coming. We've built a lot of wall already and fixed a lot of wall, but we're getting it. It's not the easiest thing because the Democrats know it's the thing we really want. It's very much of a signature. It's a big part of what we talk about. They get in the way. I know it for a fact. They said we can't. We'll get things that are actually military, $700 billion and $716 billion. We get that. A wall is a tiny thing by comparison, but they want to fight that wall for political purposes. But we're building it, and I love the signs, finish it. We'll get it finished. They want to kill, and this will happen as sure as you're standing or sitting. I don't know, who has a better seat, you or you? I don't know. This is a guarantee. Your coal mines and your miners are working. They will kill West Virginia coal. That's a guarantee. And they want to turn our federal courts into the political arm of the Democrat resistance. You see it. You see it. Now, Joe Manchin voted no on tax cuts for American families. He just voted no. What are you going to say? He voted no on removing Obama's job-killing regulations. By the way, we've cut more regulations. That's why you have all these jobs, record-setting jobs, more regulations than any president ever in the history of our country. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And we haven't been there for 2 years. But time is flying, isn't it? Time is flying. But we've cut more than any administration, whether it was 4 years, 8 years, or in one case, much more than that. We've cut more. Joe also voted no on repealing and replacing Obamacare, which we almost had done, but I'll be nice now. We couldn't get a single Democrat vote. If we did, we would have killed it, and we would have had great health care. But we're giving you a lot of great health care anyway. If you look at the plans we're coming out with, they're great. And we got rid of the individual mandate, the worst part of Obamacare. And Joe voted yes on something that not too many people in this room like, mass amnesty. Mass amnesty. Joe refused to stand up to the Democrat resistance, the radical open border Dems, Pelosi, and their new de facto leader, the legendary Maxine Waters. The Democrat Party will stop at nothing to run your lives, run down your values, and ransack our nation's wealth. We've never done like this. They will turn it around, make it bad so fast. Getting money for the military was so tough. And to do that, we had to give them money for things that we don't want, we would never want. But now we have our military rebuilding. We've taken care of our military. We've ordered massive numbers of fighter jets and planes, ships, rockets and missiles. We make the greatest military equipment in the world. We have ordered so much that other countries look at us and they say, let's forget about them. That's what we want. We don't want wars. But the only way you don't have war is if you have a military. That's what we're doing. We're in the process of building the strongest military we've ever had by far. The new platform of the Democrat Party. Do you notice I say Democrat Party? I hate the way it sounds. That's why I say it, because it's really their name, you know. It's not the Democratic Party. Doesn't it sound, it flows nicer? The Democratic Party, but, you know, the real name is the Democrat Party. I hate the way it sounds, and that's why I use it, but it's the real name, you know. The Democrat Party. So when you see Democratic Party, it's wrong. There's no name, Democratic Party. That's a great name. They should probably change the name if you think about it. Then I'd call them the Democratic Party. The Democrat Party is radical socialism, Venezuela, and open borders. It's now called, to me, you've never heard this before, the party of crime. It's the party of crime. It's what it is. And to pay for their socialism, which is going to destroy our country, Democrats want to raid Medicare and destroy Social Security. That's what's going to happen. Democrats want to completely destroy Medicare with so-called Medicare for all. Yeah, for about 2 months before the country goes out of business. Robbing our seniors of the benefits they paid into for their entire lives. Giving it to people that don't deserve it. Giving it, by the way, to illegal aliens who come into our country. Okay? Republicans want to protect Medicare for our great seniors who have earned it and paid for it. And I will always fight for and always protect patients with pre-existing conditions. You have to do it. You have to do it. Some people think that's not a Republican thing to do. I don't care. And I'll tell you what, all of the Republicans are coming into that position now, all of them. And we'll do it the right way, too. Pre-existing conditions are safe, okay? Just remember that. Pre-existing, tell that to the fake news media when they write. Fakers. The fakers. But we all have a good time. You know they're going to all endorse me for the next election. Have you heard? Because if they don't, and if for some reason I didn't win, every single media outlet goes bankrupt. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if they had to cover Crazy Bernie? Who the hell's going to watch? Or any of them. How about Cory Booker? Did you watch the performance? He ran Newark, New Jersey, into the ground, and now he wants to be president, right? What was the moment he said he had? I don't think so. I think we take Kirk Douglas in his prime. Do we agree? I think we did. No, he ran Newark into the ground. Now he's out there acting, oh, he's so wonderful, great. Oh, I dream of these people every night. The only thing I worry about is that some total unknown that nobody ever heard of comes along. But you know what? Honestly, with what we've done on jobs, on our country, on our military, we're going to talk about our veterans, what we've done. Look at, in your case, energy. Look at what we've done on energy. With every, who the hell can beat us? I mean, who can beat us? Who can beat us? One of these people said recently, and they hated to say it, but that Trump has actually fulfilled more promises than he promised. It's true. Look what we're doing. 4.2% GDP. Every point is $3.5 trillion and 10 million jobs. And when I took it over, our country was headed south. We were going down. We were going down. You'd be, instead of 4.2, you'd be at 4.2, negative 4.2. That's the way we were headed. Perhaps nothing is more dangerous than the Democrats' push to abolish very brave people that work for us and that love us and that take care of us, called ICE. They want to abolish immigration enforcement entirely, and they want no borders. They want no borders. Let everybody just pour into our country. And you got some bad dudes coming in, but they're not coming in with us. We have set records on arrests at the borders, nobody even close. And that's without the wall in those sections where we haven't been able to get the money because the Democrats won't approve it. You have to understand, we have very small margins. You know, they say we're the majority. The majority by what? If somebody has a cold, we can't take a vote. If you have a cold, if somebody's not feeling well, we say, let's delay the vote for 3 days. We don't have a majority. It's so close. It's so close. That's why we have to get more Republicans in. We will do something that nobody's ever seen before. The Democrat Party supports totally, they love them, sanctuary cities where crime pours in and they're protected, that unleash violent predators like MS-13 into American communities, leaving innocent Americans at the mercy of really, by the way, really ruthless animals. Really ruthless animals. Nancy Pelosi said, how dare he call a human being an animal? I'm sorry, Nancy. These are the words. They don't like guns. They like to use knives because it's more painful and it takes a long time. These are real bad people. And we're bringing them out so fast. And you know who's doing it? Who's leading the charge? Who loves doing it? ICE. Who the hell wants that job? ICE. ICE is doing the job. Right? Right. Look at it. ICE is doing that job. And these are brave people. They go into towns on Long Island where I grew up. Right next to these places. I know them all. They used to be, you'd leave your door open, you'd leave your window open, you go to sleep, nobody thinks. Now it's like a fort, but not anymore. What's happened is they go in like they're liberating a country. It's like, this is the United States. And ICE goes in, and MS-13, they're afraid of ICE. You know why? Because ICE is much tougher than they are. That's all they fear. And they go in, and they grab them by the necks, and they throw them the hell into a paddy wagon, and they take them either to jail or throw them the hell out of the country. It's very simple. It's very simple. And they clean out towns. They clean out towns of truly bad people, dangerous people. You saw what happened. I got to know mothers that have daughters, fathers that have daughters, in many cases daughters, and in many cases sons. But what they do to these incredible kids walking home from school, going home with books to study, do homework, and they intercept them, and they're horrible. It's horrible. And we're getting them out, but we have to, the Democrats, it's like they don't even understand that there's a problem. It's incredible. Republicans believe America should be a sanctuary for law-abiding Americans, not criminal aliens. So Republicans, not Democrats, they want to end ICE. They want to end a lot of things. Open borders. Can you believe it? How would you like this platform? We want open borders. We want high taxes. We want crime, because basically they're saying crime. So they have crime, they have high taxes, they have open borders. Oh, and by the way, and we don't want to fund the military. You have no idea how hard it is to get money for the military. It's almost impossible. That was like a full-time job. But we got that money. We got a lot of money. If the Democrats got 51 votes in the Senate, they would open our nation's borders. They would starve our law enforcement. They would starve our great law. Do we love our law enforcement? Seriously. I got a tremendous percentage of law enforcement vote, but you know, I think I might have do I get 100%? Let's say I didn't. Who the hell wouldn't vote for me from law enforcement? Okay? We've done a lot. We've gotten them a lot of surplus material from the military. You know, we had all this, we had hundreds of millions of dollars of surplus material. And our previous administration, under no circumstances did they want to give this to law enforcement. Because, you know, it's great equipment. It keeps the law enforcement safe, like trucks that are armored and things like that. So they didn't want to give it because they thought it presented a wrong image. I gave it. It's all out. They're all happy. We had it. It's military. We had it sitting in storage rooms all over the country, getting old and probably costing us a lot of money. We gave it out to law enforcement, and the law enforcement does like us. If you want to secure our border, if you want to stop sanctuary cities, which even in California now, they don't want to be sanctuary cities anymore. They want out. You see it. They're rebelling. In California, of all places, they're rebelling. If you want to protect American communities from really bad crime, then you need to vote Republican. Patrick, Morrissey, got to vote Republican. This election is about security, and it's about prosperity. Here are just some of our extraordinary achievements. We've done things that nobody can believe. If I would have used these numbers during the campaign, the fake news would have said, oh, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. How can he say that? If I used much lower numbers than they said that. Economic growth last quarter was 4.1, and it was just adjusted upward, 4.2%. And it's going higher, folks. It's going a lot higher. Jobless claims, that's a beauty. Jobless, think of that. Jobless claims just fell to a nearly 50-year low. Is that good? That's good, right? 50-year low. We've created over 4 million new jobs since the election. 4 million. Nobody would have said that. If I would have said, hey, we're going to create in less than 2 years, they would have said, you got to be kidding. Look at this. How about this one? We've lifted almost 4 million Americans off of food stamps. Wow. Pretty good, right? Now, number one, we're taking care of people. Number two, it doesn't cost us anything. I mean, that 4 million people, that's a lot of money it costs. We've added nearly, it will soon be 600,000 new manufacturing jobs. We weren't supposed to be adding jobs. We weren't supposed to be adding manufacturing jobs. And I'll tell you what, the most incredible of everything is we are doing things with manufacturing. Companies are pouring back into our country. And they're coming back into your state. They're going to Michigan. They're going to Ohio right here. They're going to Pennsylvania and North Carolina and South Carolina. I was with Prime Minister Abe of Japan. He's got many companies moving in. I said, look, we have a big deficit with you. We take care of your military, and we have a deficit. What's going on? He said, we are moving many companies into the United States. And he is, and he's been. And many, if you look, just take a look. Many countries are doing that because I don't like having deficits with every country. And China, we're taking them on very strongly. First time ever. Very strongly. And they either open it up to make it fair and don't charge us what they're doing because that's no good, or we just don't do business with them. It's a very simple thing. And in 4 months, they've gone way down, and I don't want them to go way down. I have great respect for President Xi, and I have great respect for China, but they have not treated us well. We lost, over the years, $500 billion. We'd go 250, 300, 400, 500, 525 billion. We rebuilt China. How stupid are we? No, how stupid are we? We build a car and we send it to China, and they charge a tariff or a tax of 25%. They build a car and they send it to the US, and it's 2.5%, but we don't charge them. They don't have to pay. And I said, why don't they have to pay at least a 2.5? Nobody could tell me why. Nobody. So think of it. They charge us 25%, right? We charge them nothing. Other than that, it's a very fair deal. Now, how stupid is it? So the stupid days are over, folks. I'm sorry. I mean, I love Saudi Arabia. They're great. King Solomon. I spoke to him this morning, a long talk. And I said to him, King, you got trillions of dollars. Without us, who knows what's going to happen? Maybe you're not going to be able to keep those airplanes. Because you know what? They'd be attacked. With us, they are like, safe, totally safe. But we don't get what we should be getting. We're subsidizing their military. I said, let me ask you a question. Why are we subsidizing the military of these really wealthy countries? It's one thing where a country's in deep trouble and danger, and it's a horrible thing going on, and it could be something really ugly, and, hundreds of thousands, millions of people could be killed. That's one thing. But when you have wealthy countries like Saudi Arabia, like Japan, like South Korea, why are we subsidizing their military? They'll pay us. The problem is nobody ever asked. Nobody ever asked. They don't ask. I mean, with South Korea, we're paying about 60% of their military costs. They buy a missile system. Oh, by the way, we're doing great with North Korea, I have to tell you. We're doing it. These dishonest people back there. So I left. What did I do? Was I there like 3 months ago? So for 80 years, they've been working on this stuff. And for 25 years, they've been working on missiles and nuclear. They got nowhere. They wouldn't even answer our president's phone calls. When they called, they told them, don't call us. And yes, I agree, the rhetoric was unbelievably harsh at the beginning. But we have a very good relationship. We were going to war with North Korea. That was what was going to happen. Millions of people would have been killed. President Obama told me when I sat just before taking office, he said the single biggest problem this country has is North Korea. And he said he was, very close to going to war. But fortunately, his time was up. Okay, his time was up. We would have been in a war. Millions of people would have been killed. I mean, you have Seoul, 30 million people right off the border, 30 miles away. Millions of people would have been. And yes, I came in and took a very hard position, very hard position. And you know what? Now we have this great relationship, and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. But if you think, so the fakers are saying, like, they don't know what to do. I got the hostages back for nothing. Obama paid $1.8 billion for, I got it back for nothing, right? We got the remains of our great heroes back for many, many years. You don't have any more nuclear testing. In fact, they're closing up a lot of the sites. You don't have rockets going up. You don't have missiles going up. And you have people. I like him, he likes me. I guess that's okay. Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say that? We've come a long way since you know the term, right? We've come a long way. But we could have been in something. Now, I'm not saying what's going to happen. Who knows? We're going to have another meeting. Chairman Kim would like to have another meeting. We'll have a meeting. You know what they did? The other day on a good network, I had one of the anchors say, "Why has President Trump given up so much?" I didn't give up anything. Really. I didn't give up anything. What did I give up? I gave up nothing. Why have I given up? The only thing I gave up was I agreed to meet. Boy, we lost a lot, right? In other words, I agreed to meet. I gave up nothing. They're just fakers. They don't know what to do. It's driving them crazy. They're loco. It's driving them crazy. We gave up so much. Now, Obama, with the Iran deal, gave him $150 billion and gave $1.8 billion in cash. In cash. In cash. You know how much money that is? And nobody said he gave up too much, except me. That's why I ended the deal, okay? I ended the deal. Gave it to him in cash. You ever see, like, with a promotion where you have $100 bills, you have $1 million? It's like twice the size of this thing. That's for $1 million in $100 bills, right? It's twice the size of the podium. Like, exactly twice the size. Can you imagine 1.8 billion? Where the hell do you get 1.8 billion in cash? And don't let anyone tell you it wasn't for the hostages, unless he had something, or maybe he did have something else in mind. So, we are doing great. That was a big, big problem. And you know the interesting? When I did it, and I was really being tough, and so was he, and we would go back and forth, and then we fell in love, okay? No, really. He wrote me beautiful letters, and they're great letters. We fell in love. But you know what? Now they'll say, Donald Trump said they fell in love. How horrible. How horrible is that? So unpresidential. And I always tell you, it's so easy to be presidential, but instead of having 10,000 people outside trying to get into this packed arena, we'd have about 200 people standing right there, okay? It's so easy to be presidential. All I have to do is, thank you very much for being here, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to see you all. You're great Americans. 1,000 points of light, which nobody has really figured out. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hasn't that been exciting? How is West Virginia? In the meantime, everything's going to be dying, your coal, everything else. No. We got to keep it going the way it's going. Do we agree? Do we agree? Get Patrick in there. We got to keep it going because we have something going that nobody's ever seen before. You know, every foreign leader that comes to see me in the White House, which I see a lot, but every foreign leader, and I see a lot because usually they're treating us unfairly with military, meaning we're paying for their military, and I'm saying why? Because we're redoing all of that. We're not going to do it. I said, Saudi Arabia, you're rich, you got to pay for your military. We'll take care of it. We'll be good. You got to pay for your military. Sorry. Nobody ever asked the question. And I have generals, you know, it's called the military-industrial complex. They're great people. They're warriors, but they're not into the world of finance. So I say, General, how much are they paying for this missiles? Sir, we are paying for it. Why? Sir, we're paying because they are our allies. I said, yeah, but why else? Sir, trade. I said, yeah, but we lost $100 billion last year on trade with this. Why are we doing this, Jen? And people slowly but surely, I'm telling you, big difference. And you see GDP numbers now at 4.2. When we straighten out these horrible trade deals and these horrible military deals that we have, forget it. Off the charts. Household income among Hispanic Americans has just set a new record high. Think of that. Income. Since my election, and you've heard this many times, I'm very proud of it, because I used to go around saying, what do you have to lose? Vote for me instead of a Democrat, right? Vote for me. African American, Hispanic American, Asian American unemployment have all reached the lowest levels ever recorded in our history. Right? Right? The poverty rates for African Americans and Hispanic Americans, it's been incredible. They've all reached their lowest levels in the history of our country. Think of it. Now, who the hell's going to beat me? I mean, I'm saying African Americans, have the lowest unemployment rate in history. Why would somebody do well? I think, and we have Kanye West, we have a lot of support. Big Jim Brown, how about Big Jim Brown? How good was he? If he was playing today, he'd make $1 trillion. And he'd stand for the flag, too, I tell you. I know him. Great. Unemployment for Americans without high school diplomas, that's a big thing, recently reached the lowest rate ever recorded. The women's unemployment rate in the United States recently reached its lowest rate in over 65 years. This is something that's personal to you and some other states. We repealed President Obama's federal coal moratorium. We ended the coal crushing stream protection rule, which was killing you. It sounds so beautiful. The EPA's so-called a killer, Clean Power Plan. It was a killer. It was costing this country a fortune. It was a total killer. Has such nice names, such a nice title. It put everybody out of business. And it took away our strength. It took away our wealth. And I withdrew the United States from the job-killing, very unfair, and very, very expensive Paris Climate Accord. Another one that... a killer. These are killers. They were putting our country out of business. We've ended the war on beautiful, clean coal. And in just the last year, our coal exports have skyrocketed. This is exports to other countries by 60%. You believe that? The United States is now the #1 energy producer in the world. That happened just recently. A lot of money in that. We're fixing the one-sided trade deals that have stolen American jobs, drained American wealth. It's been a massive transfer of wealth out of our country. We're bringing it all back. They're all coming back. We've reached a deal to replace the horrible NAFTA, one of the worst trade deals ever, with a brand new U.S.-Mexico trade deal. And we'll see what happens with Canada if they come along. Good. They have to be fair. Right now they have tariffs over 300% on dairy products. That's like a barrier. They have to be fair. But we've made the deal with Mexico, and it's a great deal for both countries. NAFTA was the worst deal. Just this week, I signed a groundbreaking new trade deal with South Korea that will dramatically increase exports of American-made goods. I said, you got to open up your country. Now, the Democrats will look at any of these deals. They won't read them. They won't know anything about them. They'll just say, I guess I'd do it if I was them too. They'll say, what do you think of the new? It's no good. It's terrible. Oh, have you read it? Don't ask me that question. These deals are unbelievable. These deals are so good for us. You're not going to have companies leaving our country, firing everybody, and then selling their product back into the United States with no taxes. Not going to happen anymore. And thanks to our very strong position on tariffs, because I want them to negotiate with us, we've saved American aluminum and American steel companies. They are thriving. American Steel is building plants all over the country. Steel workers are back, and the miners are supplying the metallurgic coal. We don't need foreign steel. What happens if we're in a conflict? What are we going to do? Get our steel from some foreign country? Oh, by the way, we need steel. We need aluminum. There are certain things you need. And we're hiring a lot of people. And you know what? Our treasury is getting loaded up with money because billions of dollars will be flowing in because we charge 25% when they dump. You know, when they dump steel, What they want to do is put our steel companies out of business. Then they sell us steel at prices that are so high. Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about the jobs created. And nobody wants to talk about all the money that's flowing in to the coffers of the United States of America. They don't like to talk about it. And the people that are against it are usually having, you know, you go to these other countries, they have companies there too. And many of these people, well, we like free trade. So I'll say, even to congressmen and senators, let me ask you a question. So we have a country, take India, good relationship. They want to make a deal now because they don't want me to do what I'm going to do if I have to. So they call us. They didn't want to make a deal with anybody else. But I said, so take India. So you talk about free trade. So let's say they charge us 60% tariff on a product. And for the same product, when they send it in, we charge them nothing. So now I want to charge them 25% or 20 or 10 or something. What do you think? That's not free trade. We don't like it. I say, where are these people coming from? Now think of it. Where are they coming from? And you have no idea how difficult it is. Where are they coming? So India, just to use as an example, I could give you others that are brutal. Just brutal what they do to us. How they take advantage of the stupidity. We never even had people negotiating. They just do whatever they want. But take India. So they charge us 60%, right? 60%. We charge them nothing. And when I say I'm going to put a 25% tariff on just to make it a little bit fairer, they say that's not free trade. I say, where do you come from? Remember this. A lot of the people that are fighting me and what I'm doing have ownership of companies in these other countries. Remember that, please, okay? Remember that. Or they're represented by lobbies. So the steel people love me, the coal people love me, many people love me. You know who loves me? Our country has never done better. That's who loves me. Crazy. So to give our workers and businesses, just in finishing up, a level playing field, Republicans passed the biggest package of tax cuts and reforms in American history. We passed something else that I love, right to try. You know what right to try is? That's where somebody's terminally ill. We have a pipeline of some of the greatest products. And we couldn't get them. We couldn't use them. Person's going to die in 4 months. We couldn't use them. For 45 years, they've been trying to get this passed. Not that easy. Not that easy. I got to pass, right to try. Somebody's terminally ill. They can take now. They have to sign a clause and things. And they now don't have to travel to parts of the world. We passed Veterans' Choice, giving us Veterans' Choice, giving our veterans the right to see a private doctor if they're standing in line for 4 weeks, right? They couldn't get it passed. This has been going on for 45 years. They couldn't get it passed. Veterans are greatest people. These are people. Any veterans here? Veterans? It was very tough. 45 years they couldn't. We got it passed. So now instead of waiting online for 3 weeks and dying, in many cases, believe it or not, they start off, they're okay. They wait so long to see a doctor. They end up becoming terminal. They end up dying. They now go out and see a doctor. We pay the bill. It's great. Passed. We passed. We also passed a landmark VA Accountability Act so that all these bad players that were in the VA, we fire them so fast when they're bad. You didn't have the right to fire anybody. They could do anything. I just signed legislation to completely rebuild all of our military. And I told you about that, and you know what? It's so important to me. So important to me. So important. We have tanks, we have ships, we have everything. So important. And at my direction, the Pentagon is working right now as we speak to create a sixth branch of the United States Armed Forces called the Space Force, right? Space Force. I withdrew the United States from the horrible one-sided Iran deal, and Iran is not the same country right now, folks. And they better not do nuclear. They better not. It's not the same country. We've all recognized the true capital of Israel recently when I opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. Right? And I've just come from a tremendously successful trip. I've done a lot of trips, from the United Nations to Saudi Arabia to China to UK, European Union, all over the world, and every one of those means a lot of jobs and a lot of income coming into our country that nobody ever did before. Nobody ever did it. I made clear that we will never sacrifice America's sovereignty to unelected, unaccountable, foreign bureaucrats. I'm not going to do it. We reject the ideology of globalism, and we embrace the doctrine, you know what I'm saying? The doctrine of, let's put it this way, we love our country. That's our doctrine. You can call it patriotism, but it's really the doctrine of we love our country. For years you watched as your leaders apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America. We are standing up for your values. We are standing up for West Virginia. We are standing proudly for our national anthem. To continue our momentum, to protect your family, your borders, your Constitution, and your country, you need to get your friends, get your family, get your co-workers, and get out and vote for Patrick Morrisey. Get out and vote Republican. And if you aren't registered, register right now. You got to register here. And the deadline to register is October 16th. Hate to break up this by saying that, but those are the facts. Register. October 16th. Loyal citizens like you helped build this country. And together we are taking back our country and returning power to where it belongs, to the American people. This great state was built by tough pioneer men and strong pioneer women. These brave West Virginia patriots ventured out into the wilderness and up into the mountains to build a beautiful home, a life, and a dream. They didn't have a lot of money. They didn't have a lot of luxury. But they all had one thing in common. They loved their families, they loved their country, and they loved their God. True. We stand on the shoulders of these courageous Americans. Your ancestors did not pour out their blood, sweat, and tears so that we could sit at home while others tried to erase their legacy and destroy our proud American heritage. That's what the Democrats are trying to do with their crazy policies. Just like the pioneers and patriots who came before us, we are going to work, we are going to fight, and we are going to win for our families, for our flag, and for our freedom. The revolution that you began in 2016, and it was a revolution, and even these people will admit that. That was a revolution like they've never seen before. That was a revolution that was, they came from the hills and they came from the valleys, they came from everywhere. And at the end of that evening, they said, hate to tell you this, a lot of bad things are happening tonight for the Democrats. That was one of the great evenings, not because of me, but because of you. That was one of the great evenings in the history of our country. And it's far from over. It's only just beginning. We will not bend. We will not break. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down. We will never surrender. And we will always fight on to victory, victory, victory. Because we are America. And our hearts bleed red, white, and blue. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together, we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, West Virginia. Thank you. Thank you.